So, hey everybody, ORPM with you. Good dad. We got a flat tire on a BMX bike, and that's no fun. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fix the tire. We're gonna put a new tube.
Step by step.
Step by step, yep. So the first thing I like to do is grab the bike like this, flip it over, and I'll keep it so you guys can try to see it. Flip it over like that. Now the bad thing about the back tire is you have to take the chain off, you have to take the wheel off, you have to take the brake thing off, and get the tire all the way off. You have to take the rear brakes off so you can pull it out, all that and everything, because there's no way to get the tube in there because it's got to go around all that stuff. Front tire is a little easier. This one's good shape, but it's pretty easy because you just take the two nuts off and the wheel comes off and you can work on the wheel. We got to do the same thing with the back. So we need to take, first thing we need to do is take this little bolt off, and that's a 10 millimeter probably. And I'm just going to use my little impact drill. And I got a 10 millimeter right here. I think that's the size. It is. So I'm just going to use my drill. You could use your ratchet if you wanted to. You want to save all your hardware. Make sure you don't lose it. We've got to put this back. So I'm just going to put the nut back on there like that. So that's gone. That's all out of the way. And now we got to take the back wheel off. And you take the back wheel off, you got two. These appear to be, let's see, 15 millimeter. And remember, loosey goosey or whatever, righty tighty. And all you have to do is just break it loose. And you don't have to take this nut all the way off because it just slides out of the back. First thing we have to do though is slide the wheel forward to get the chain off the sprocket. Okay, so I got that all the way loose. Now I need to move the tire forward, and then I have to take the chain and run it around like this. See, so take the chain off like that. See how the chain is off?
Yep.
Okay. Now, the only thing left that's holding us from getting it off would be the brakes. But I think since the tire is already flat, I think we can just pull it out like that, just like that. See?
Yeah.
All right. So that's your first step. So in your next step, you got to get your tube out, and the tube is inside the tire. And this one's already flat, which makes it easier. We're going to take this little thing off so we can push. We're going to push the tube into the wheel, into the tire. Sometimes if you're strong enough, you can just pull this and take it off. I'm going to use this thing called a tire spade.
I got a separate video on that.
Yep, separate video on cleaning the tire spade that I had. It had caulk on it.
You should go watch it.
Yeah, you can clean all kinds of tools. It doesn't have to just be this screwdrivers, wrenches, whatever. If they get caulk or something, rust or whatever. You get underneath this, and then we take it like that, and then we're going to run it all the way around. Try to. Sometimes a little bit of soap makes it slide better. And then you go all the way around till it comes off easy like that. And you don't have to take the whole tire off the wheel. You just have to take one side off of one side, because all you're trying to do is just get in there and get the tube. And it's always a good idea too, and this is something I forgot about. I'm gonna go ahead and rip this all the way off. Like that, okay? And it's always a good idea to try to figure out what popped your tire. So here's the old tube. And then look at the tire really good on the inside, because there might be a little nail or something. And you feel on the inside really good. And see if you feel any like little hole or anything, or maybe like a little, could be a little nail or something sticking through, because you don't want to put your new tube on it and then have another hole. instantly go in there. So this tire is really worn out, but it'll work fine. So here's your tube, and what we can do is we can find a hole in the tube, and it might be a hole at the valve stem. I've got air right here, so I'm going to just pump it up. You can't pump it up real tight because it'll pop, but I want to see if we can find where the leak is. So unhook it. And some people, what they do is they have these little rubber patches, and you put a little glue, like if you found a little hole, you put a little glue on there and you put a rubber patch on there, and you can patch it to you. But they're not very expensive. I think the one that we bought right there was like $5, $4, something like that at Walmart. So right now I don't see anything wrong, but I know that there's a leak. So I have a sink over here. If the cameraman wants to come over here, maybe we can turn some water on. Or you know what's even better? Soap, any type of cleaner or anything like that, because it makes bubbles. Yeah. If I had some in here, let's see. Oh, here's some right here. Yeah. It's best to do this if I could fill the sink up with water or a bucket. And you just look for bubbles. Oh, right here. I just felt it. You got a hole right there. Here?
Yep.
So, this isn't the soapiest stuff in the world, but they make special soap that will actually bubble up. This soap doesn't bubble. There's obviously a hole. Now what this looks like is it looks like it's just starting to split where the two pieces of rubber come together down the seam in the middle.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's just starting to split right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything punctured it like a nail or anything. So we could fix that if we wanted to, but instead of doing that, let me see, do I have, you know what? I do have the thing that stops the water in the sink. So just for fun, we'll fill the sink up. We'll let that run for a few minutes and we'll fill it up, and I'll show you how you can find a hole. Again, most people are just going to buy a new tube and put a new tube in because you have to take the old one out. You can't really patch it while it's in the bike. You have to take the old tube out, you might as well put a brand new tube back in. Okay, just to demonstrate again, I'm going to put a little bit more air in it real quick so it'll be a little tighter because it's already lost a lot of air. And then we'll put it back in the sink and I'll show you guys how to find the holes and if you got one that has a hole. Okay. You can even hear it. Wow, so you start like this. Can you see down here in the sink? And you're looking for bubbles, right? So we know it's right here. So like once you hit it, watch this. You know you have it. See that?
Yeah.
The bubbles?
Yeah.
And you can have a hole in more than one spot. And a lot of times they leak at the little valve stem too. That looks fine. So you literally just had one little hole right there. So, and it seems like a big deal. They'd like just put a whole new tube in, but if you spend all the time, if you spend all your time taking it apart and taking it out, and if you have a new tube, you might as well put a new tube in. So. Okay, so now we got our new tube out of the package. They come flat like this, kind of folded up in a little package at Walmart for like $4. The first thing you have to do is take off the little cap because it needs to slide. It needs to slide through the rim. Oh, another thing, I forgot. Another thing, so when you have your rim, you want to make sure the spokes go through like this, and they put this tape over it like that, see? And that's to keep from rubbing a hole in the tube. It's a protector at the end of these little metal caps that come through the rim. And you need to make sure that this is in good shape all the way around. And some people like to use electrical tape and put electrical tape around it. This one looks fine, so I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. All right, so this is kind of a hard part. Take the tire. And we already inspected the inside of the tire. I don't feel anything in there that feels like it would mess up anything. And you put one side tire back on. You get one part on, you leave the other part open. I'm gonna look like an idiot because it's been 30 years since I've done this. But anyway. You get half of it over. And this is where you get all the way around until it gets stuck. And after it gets stuck, you use your tire spoon or a screwdriver or whatever you have, and you just kind of pry it over top of it like that. See? And then pull it out. So you don't want the whole thing over. You just want half. Okay, because you got to get your tube in there.
Yep.
So we're going to take the second part off like that. So now we can push our tube in. Now the most important thing here to keep you from getting frustrated and messing up is you got to find the hole where the valve stem goes through. See the hole right there? So what we want to do is make sure that our valve stem goes in right there, and we want to make it straight like that, right down the middle. See? And then it's just a matter of pushing the tube in and try not to kink it. Try to get it going the right way. It is hot in here because it's humid and it's the summertime and it's just rained. And I'm sweating, so. I can't take this anymore. It's too damn hot. So I'm gonna open up the garage. All right, we're back. We opened up the garage behind the camera and turned the fan on because it was getting warm. But this shouldn't take us too much longer. So the idea is just to push it in here, make sure that your valve stem stays straight, like that. Go all the way around. And some people like to put a little bit of air in the tube first, just a little bit. It makes it so it doesn't fold on itself and stuff. And that's a good idea sometimes. And then ultimately, we're going to wind up putting both sides of the tire in the rim again, see? So we go all the way around like this and get it over top of it. See how it's starting to go in?
Yep.
All the way around, but then we're going to get stuck because it gets tight. So then you take your tire spoon. You want to try not to pinch the tube, because if you mess up your tube, you go a little bit further. And sometimes your tire's loose enough, like yours is, that it just goes in place all the way around. Now, yep. Now look, see how this almost tried to come out? You want to make sure you push it through. And once you put air in, that will stay out. So we're going to put a little air in, and then we're going to bounce it all the way around so it, if the tube is folded anywhere, it unfolds itself. You got to push with your finger on this one, with your thumb, and then you pull it air. Okay, we're at 20 pounds. I don't know what it's supposed to take, but we'll go a little tight like that. And then that's basically fixed. You just can bounce it a little bit, just make sure it looks good all the way around. And there we go, and we'll put a little bit more in it when we get done putting it back together. There it is. And you could probably use a little bit of grease in your bearings, but we'll worry about that in a minute. Okay, so when you put it back on the bike, it's just, you do the opposite of what you were doing. Now, here's a problem right now that we have. The brake pads are too close together, so it's going to be hard to get the tire past that because now the tire has air in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a screwdriver, and I'm just going to let some air. I'm just going to let all the air out, so we can squeeze the tire again and put it past the brake pads. And also that allows me to straighten this out a little bit and pull it out straight like that. See? Okay. And then this thing, remember, goes on that side. So now we got our chain to deal with. So the chain, make sure it doesn't have a kink in it. There we go. Just like that. It's going to go just like that. So now we take the tire, take the chain, and get the chain like that. Get around the sprocket. The sprocket is the thing that holds the chain hooks into. And see, you could loosen up your brakes if you wanted to. You could do that too, but I don't think you're going to need to. I got it in there, I think. Maybe. Yep. There we go. Now, you just have to put your... I'm going to take the chain off for a second so I can slide the wheel back just a little bit. We got to get it in there. This one in there. Make sure your washer's on the outside, and then you can put your chain back on. And your chain needs to be tight, but not really tight, not super tight. The way you get your chain tight is the way you pull the wheel backwards. See? So why don't we do this now? This is about ready to tighten up. Why don't we do this one? Put some air in. So the tire is like it's supposed to be when you ride. Again, I got to push with my thumb, so when I push on this, it doesn't go back inside the tire. Got to lock that on like that. I'll put a little air. Okay. Want it nice and tight. Okay. Then you want your wheel straight. If your wheel is cocked one way or the other, the bike will ride sideways down the road like that. You don't want that. You want the wheel to be right down the middle. And you want your chain to be tight. And then you can tighten these up. And then you can hold them. You can hold it backwards a little bit so the chain is tight. Like that. See how the chain is Now it's a little bit loose, but there we go. And now I tighten up this side first because this is the side that has a chain on it. So tighten that up. And then now the chain is pretty tight. And then make sure that this side, push it over like that. And then snug it up, but don't over tighten it, just snug it. Especially if you have a long ratchet like this, you can strip it, so don't strip it. And then there it is, Gunther. Yeah. Oh, one more thing. We gotta put this on. So that we gotta put that on. I forgot. So I probably should just have to loosen up this side again. And then I should be able to move this bar. And I can hear people right now on the video. He's got to put that thing on. He forgot the thing. I don't even know what you call it. I guess it's called a brake.
Yeah.
The brake piece. I don't know. And it's hitting the frame right now. Well, we messed this up, Junior. Alright, so this is how you do stuff. You learn, you know?
When it you learn.
That needs to go around. I put it right in the middle, which means it really can't move, which is good because you don't want it to move. Alright, so with the magic of edits, in a little bit of time, I just had to spin this little bar all the way around, and I put the nut back in, tighten these back down, make sure everything runs good without the brakes dragging. Make sure that everything works. Brakes work, everything works. So it's ready to go. We can put a little bit of air in the front tire, it's a little bit low. And then it's ready for a test ride.
Yeah.
Whoop.
The power of editing.
The power of what?
Power of editing.
Editing, that's right. Okie doke. Alright, so that's how you fix a $10 bike
Not $10.
with a $5 inner tube.
All right, we're gonna test drive it.
I'm not.
I am.
Oh, you know what? Your front wheel's a little bit crooked. You want to tighten? We can tighten this up so that won't move anymore on you.
Yeah.
You want to raise the seat?
Yeah.
And just like that, it's fixed. Brand new. Oops. Never buy tubes from Walmart.